Hey guys, and welcome back to Tom's Garage. I'm coming with you with this all new KGM Actyon. You may be wondering, what is a KGM? What is an Actyon? And I'm going to debunk that question in your head. Well, KGM is a petrochemical fintech company based in South Korea that are called KG Group, and M is for mobility. They bought over SsangYong, which you may remember some of their products such as the Rodius, the Rexton, the Musso, all those good products. This is the first ground up brand new product from KGM, and it's this, the Actyon, or Action, depending where you are in the world. Now, it is a C plus segment crossover, so as you can see, quite a large vehicle. It competes with things like your Nissan Qashqai, Kia Sportage, and Volkswagen Tiguan. Now, it's a fairly long vehicle, just about 4.6 metres in length. And in this video, I'm going to give you a walk around tour of the car, show you the exterior, the interior, and get out on the road for a test drive. So stay tuned for this video. Now, the first thing I want to show you is this bar light up front. It does a little welcome dance when you unlock the car. And I think this is a pretty neat feature. It gives it a little bit of design. A lot more modern 2025 models come with a light bar. And I like the way KGM have designed this. It always looks happy to see me. It makes me smile when I unlock the car doing its little dance. Now, the front of the vehicle is quite like blockish, kind of giving me some American-esque vibes, especially with these little bits on the top of the bonnet here. We do have your daytime running lights, that bar light, and then your main lights are down here, as I mentioned. And then your main headlights are actually all down here in this black plastic surround. We do have a 360 camera up front, as well as your radar down here. Now, the front of it, I think overall quite a handsome design. You will notice there is no obvious KGM branding on the front of the vehicle. It's kind of nameless, which I guess gets people intrigued and curious what car this is. And that probably adds to the intrigue when people have came up to me when I'm time with this car, wondering what it is. So under the bonnet here, we do have the 1.5 litre GDI petrol engine. Now, two things that have impressed me when opening this bonnet. One, we've got gas struts. I have seen premium manufacturers without gas struts. Some nice sound deadening underneath the bonnet here. And overall, it does look like there's a little bit more space. You could maybe get a 2 litre engine in there. I'm not sure. I think a 2 litre diesel would probably suit this car a little bit better just with the size and weight of the vehicle, get you a little bit more MPG, which I'll cover when we get out on the road. But this engine is good for about 160 brake horsepower, 200 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in about 10 seconds, and 194 grams per kilometre of CO2, which is quite high. That's because there is no hybridisation or electrification with this powertrain. And KGM claim this engine's going to give you 33.1 miles to a gallon. Now, interestingly, this surprised me. This car is riding on Michelin Primacy tyres, 245/45 R20s, because these are 20-inch diamond cut alloy wheels. I mentioned the only option for this car, because it's a top spec car, make it look premium and rough and tough and doing a little bit nice when you're going out and around the town. But yeah, these Michelin tyres, if you don't know anything about tyres, Michelin are one of the top tier brands in the tyre world. And yeah, it's a bit like the equivalent of having red bottoms on your high heel shoes, or maybe a nice designer print from Italian or French design house on your bag, if it's a duffel bag, whatever it may be. So I think that's a really neat touch that they are on this car, and it kind of adds to the premium feel of the vehicle. If you didn't know, you do know now. So we do have quite squared off mirrors on the side, all the kind of door bits are all squared off, roof rails with little bits up top so you can put in your bicycle rack, things like that. You will notice this silver strip running across from the A-pillar to C-pillar. That visually lowers the design, for me anyway, of how the roofline is, because it is a good few inches on top of that. It is quite a tall vehicle, but yeah, they've done quite a good job, I think, on the side of the vehicle. And the rear three quarters kind of gives me British design language. I'm not sure about you, you can comment below, but the front I would say is quite American, and then that back quarter there is semi-British. Without saying a name, you can comment what you think you might see. So around the rear of the Actyon, we do have this strip here. It's black, thin. Your lights are encompassed in there, as well as it's saying Actyon across, and you're going to notice KGM badge on the rear tailgate there. That is the only one that's on the body, out with the ones that are on the wheel centre caps. And you've got your things like your other lights are in this cluster here. But without that there, I think this looks quite British, quite a handsome design. And we've got front brake light up top with your spoiler there. Now the boot space in this car is rather large. It does have keyless entry to get in, so boot kick, it opens up. And it's going to reveal 668 litres of boot space, which is absolutely huge for this class of car. So, it's squared off, it's nice and boxy. And, the side of the car boot is lined with this durable plastic that's wipeable. Some people prefer the kind of carpeted material, but I will say the benefit of this is if you do have something like a dog hair is not going to get attached to that. Having had a car with a carpeted boot before and a dog with long hair, that can be a bit of a pain to clean. So at least you can wipe that down. Even if you're throwing in maybe surfboards or doing outdoor activities, you can wipe that quite quickly. There is a 12-volt power outlet, a little hook there for your tie-down stuff, some storage at each side, a little bit of storage underneath. The seats fold 60/40, and you have a little parcel shelf cover there you can pull across if you want to hide your goods from unwanted eyes. There is also a boot release inside the car in case you get trapped inside the boot of the KGM. Now let me fold the seats for you just so you can see what we've got going on. Pull them down. We do have a relatively flat floor. You could remove this parcel shelf here and you've got a huge cavernous area, almost like a small van to haul things. So that is a very practical vehicle, and I do like the fact you do have that split folding capability. Now of course we do have the electronic tailgate, so a touch of a button, tailgate's going to close down like so, and you're going to see a reversing camera under the letter T for Actyon. Now I'm in the back. I do have plenty of knee room, plenty of headroom. I am 5'11" for reference, and because of that boxy design, there's loads of room back here. And I'm very impressed. I'm sitting behind myself, and yeah, I've got a good few, 4 or 5 inches of leg room. Knee room's all right. The way I'm sitting, I can put my feet under. It's a fairly comfortable, competent car back here. We do have little map pockets, and I like this little feature. There's a little bit of extra stitching here, so you could put something like a phone or a small device, and then you've got a separate pouch there for larger items. I don't see that too often, so it's worth mentioning. Again, part of this being the ultimate KGM Actyon you can get in the UK, which is, again, the only one available, is the top of the range one. You do have rear blinds. We do have this kind of neoprene material on top of the door card. It's like a waterproof swimsuit material or diving material. That's what it reminds me of. Mechanical door handles, which is nice, and again, little aluminium trim going into the door handle along the door. Rear heated seats, which are 2-stage. Activate that on the side here. Electric window, door bin, it's not too bad. Overall materials in the back, pretty much what you see up front and throughout the cabin. It's got a nice mix of materials to blend it for the eye as well as the feel. Now, the back seats are lined with this soft touch leather material. We do have an armrest with 2 cup holders, which is always welcome, especially for journeys. In the top of the seats at the front and the back, I've got this Alcantara suede material with the red stitching, and we have these like burgundy red seat belts in the front and the back of the car as well, which just add to a bit of drama and theatre to the car, which I quite like. Do have 2 climate vents as well as 2 USB-C chargers in the rear of the vehicle. Plenty of room for 3 abreast if I was to sit in the middle and perch myself. Still got headroom, can sit comfortably across, and I can have my feet up there or have them spread across the transmission hump. The car is wide enough to accompany at least 3 Thomas-sized adults across here. And if you are carrying children, we do have the important ISOFIX points in the back of the car. Now let's check out up front. Alright, you join me in the front of the Actyon. Now the first thing I want to mention are the materials that are used in this cabin. There's a nice blend of like soft touch dash. We've got the full wood running across the centre here. This carbon fibre looking plastic that runs across the middle of the dash. It's on the doors. We've got that neoprene kind of swimsuit, diving suit material on top of the door cards at the front and the back, and then a kind of microfibre on the middle of the door card with some red stitching. Overall, KGM have really thrown a whole lot of different materials and textures in the car. So visually there's a lot to see and feel, which I quite like, including the steering wheel, which is the kind of hexagonal shape, but it's a nice quality soft leather as well, so that surprised me as well in this car. Now you're going to notice we have a little crystal shifter here. This car uses a 6-speed automatic transmission, and all that power goes through this little shifter here. 2 cup holders, a little shelf in here, USB-C chargers, as well as a 12-volt power outlet. I like how this centre console here is kind of floating, allows you to put other items underneath, maybe like a small bag or something like that. We've got a wireless phone charger here that sits upright. Now underneath this armrest we do have a storage bin lined with fuzzy stuff, and the top of it, weirdly, usually centre armrests are lined with like a vinyl or a leatherette material. This one's kind of like a rubberized textured material, very hard wearing, and only the outer portions are covered in this sort of soft touch vinyl material. Just thought it was worth mentioning. Now, a lot of the infotainment is controlled through this touchscreen here. There's very few buttons. There's a few on the steering wheel, but everything's primarily through here. So we do have things like your heated and cooled seats up front, which you can go from the side screen there, or if you hit climate, you're even able to turn on the rear heated seats, which is a really neat touch. They've got 2-stage in the rear and 3-stage up front. The speed of the processor up front as well, it's not too bad. I wouldn't say it's class leading by any means, but it's definitely not slow. You've got your aircon, etc. You're able to turn. You can even open the tailgate here. Hit the home button. It does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto for those that are concerned about that. Bluetooth for your radio as well, Bluetooth for your music, radio, phone, and then sat-nav's powered by TomTom, so you can pull that up and you can have your sat-nav there. That brings me onto the screen in front of the driver. I have that on the sat-nav mode because I just like to see what's going on, but you can touch that. That is customizable, and you can cycle through various things on that centre screen there. But yeah, I have it on the map just to replicate what's going on in that centre there, just because I like to see what's going on. Now, on the top of the screen, you're able to turn off certain things such as the beeping, the start-stop, whatever it may be, hill descent control. There's some shortcut keys there. Now, the seats up front in this car are 8-way electronically adjustable. They are leather lined, as I mentioned, with this Alcantara-esque material up top, and the red stitching and the red accents on the side of the seats, as well as those burgundy seat belts. In the seats up front, you are able to move the passenger seat back and forward and tilt it with the buttons on the sides. So if your rear passenger wanted more room, you've got that capability there. Alright, you join me behind the wheel of this KGM. Let's see how we get on the road. I like the height of the car. It doesn't feel too imposing in terms of like the ride height and getting in, and you can good visibility out front. I like the little black bits in the bonnet as well. Kind of give you a little bit of something to look at when you're driving, help place the car. 40, 3, 2, 1. And there we go, pretty much at 40 quite quickly. This car does feel nippy enough around town. You know, 10 seconds to 60 is not the fastest in the world. However, I would say that it's fine for just commuting and cruising, leaving roundabouts, etc. If you do put the foot down at a roundabout, for example, and throw it, it does rev a little bit high. Like the engine seems a bit more keen than the gearbox. I'll give you another example. 3, 2, 1. Like that. It's not super happy getting floored. But again, this car isn't a sports car. It's not dynamically engaging. It's a nice, comfortable crossover, what people in this kind of segment are looking for. Just something that you can chuck all your stuff in. You can do big shopping hauls. You can put your kids in the back or dogs in the boot. Whatever it may be, this car's got a lot going for it. And considering the price point as well, it's under £40,000, and you're getting things like the radar cruise control, heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all the blind spot and safety gear. Like, there's a lot going on for this car, which some manufacturers in the premium segments charge you like £700 for this, £1,000 for that. You know, and you're getting all that rolled into this, especially like the blinds and the rear heated seats. Then if you're carrying passengers, or especially if you're in Scotland and it's cold and wet and miserable and you want your kids or family members in the back to be nice and toasty in winter, this could be a good option. You know, I would seriously consider looking at test driving one of these, finding your local KGM dealership, especially if you're looking at like your Nissans, your Volkswagens, your Kias. This is something that's quite subtle. It'll get people, you know, if you want somebody like to wonder what you're driving, or equally maybe you want something that's loaded with tech gadgets, you're happy with the front wheel drive, you do not need the 4x4 capabilities, and yeah, like it's got a lot going for it. Okay, I don't know KGM long-term reliability for this like power plant, and it's going to be ruled out probably from benefit in kind because of the high CO2 for the classic car because it's not hybrid. But out with that, like if you're a private buyer or something, then I think it should be on your shortlist at least to have a look at what it can do for you. Now, the two cons for this are one, MPG is not brilliant. I'm doing 30 and a 30, I don't know why it's misbehaving there. But yeah, the MPG is not brilliant, about 29.30 to a gallon. That is like 6-cylinder Porsche territory, that is not 1.5 litre daily commuter vehicle. I would like that to have been stronger for 2025 when so many options are hybridised or electrified in some way. But then would that push the price point up over 40,000 when you're paying luxury car tax? I don't know. Like, you know, there's all these if and what's and whatnots. You do need to remember this is under the crucial luxury car tax factor. So that's a plus in roundabout way of the negative of the fuel. And the second bit is everything being through the touchscreen. I'm just not a fan of absolutely everything in touchscreen, like your climate control, your sat nav. Like depending on what menu you're in, you might lose what the outside temperature is, or you might lose the clock, and those little things do irritate me. Just me living with the car, it's just not because it's not always there. But I do like the dual screens, it's nice and easy to use, it seems fast and responsive enough. I do like the fact you can configure that front screen in front of the driver here for the gauge cluster. And overall, it's a solid like 6 out of 10, probably like a good average car, which is what you can say. Like I'm really impressed. It's my first KGM experience. It's my first KGM like product, and it's their first full KGM product as well. So like there is a lot going for it, and I think I'm here at the right time to experience that first off the bat. And they've done a good job giving a whole host of technology at that price point. So to round out this video, definitely shortlist, have a test drive of one of these. Comment your thoughts on the KGM Actyon below. I'll be curious to hear your thoughts on it, and I will see you next video. Ciao.